My mother locked me in the basement on my wedding morning and walked my sister down the aisle to marry my husband instead. Before I continue with today's story, I'd love for you to support our channel. And while you're at it, drop a comment letting us know where you're watching from. We love seeing how far our stories travel. I woke up at 5 a.m. on September 14, 2024, my wedding day, to the smell of burning sage. Mama always burned sage when she was cleansing negative energy, but something felt different this time. The acrid smoke seemed thicker, more suffocating. I was at my childhood home in Atlanta where we'd planned to get ready together. Me, Mama, and my sister Keisha. My fiancé Dylan was across town at his brother's place, probably nervous as hell. We'd been together for 4 years and today we were finally doing it. I stretched in my old twin bed, touching the wedding dress hanging on my closet door. The ivory silk caught the early morning light, making me tear up. 26 years old and I was marrying my best friend. Then I heard it, low voices downstairs, urgent whispers. Mama's voice, sharp and insistent. Keisha's softer, uncertain. I crept to my bedroom door and pressed my ear against it. She doesn't deserve him, Mama hissed. You've always been the beautiful one, the one who should have everything. My blood went cold. But Mama, that's Lillian's. Don't you want what she has? Don't you love him too? Silence. Then Keisha's small voice, yes. That single word stabbed through my chest. My little sister. My Dylan. My mother. The sage smoke suddenly made sense. She wasn't cleansing negative energy. She was preparing for something evil. I burst from my room, heart hammering against my ribs. What the hell are y'all talking about down there? My voice echoed through the hallway, bouncing off family photos that now felt like lies. Mama appeared at the bottom of the stairs, her face a mask of false concern. She wore her Sunday best, a purple dress suit I'd never seen before. Too fancy for helping a bride get ready. Baby girl, you're up early. Come down, let's talk. Something in her tone made my skin crawl. Every instinct screamed danger, but this was my mother. The woman who'd braided my hair for 18 years, who'd taught me to make her famous peach cobbler, who'd held me when Daddy died. I descended slowly, gripping the banister. Keisha stood behind Mama, 23 and beautiful in a way that had always made me feel plain. She wouldn't meet my eyes. What's going on? I demanded, reaching the bottom step. Who doesn't deserve what? Mama smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Oh honey, you misheard. Wedding day jitters got you paranoid. Come have some tea, calm your nerves. She gestured toward the kitchen where I could see my wedding binder open on the table. My timeline, my vendor list, my entire day planned to the minute. I know what I heard. Lillian, please, Keisha whispered. Just listen to Mama. That's when I noticed the basement door standing open. We never used the basement. Actually, baby, I need to show you something down there, Mama said, her voice sugary sweet. Your wedding gift. It's too heavy for us to bring up. I hesitated. The basement was unfinished, just concrete and boxes of old Christmas decorations. But Mama's eyes were wide and earnest, and part of me wanted to believe I'd imagined that conversation. A wedding gift in the basement? Your grandmother's china cabinet, she said quickly. The one you always loved. We restored it for you. My heart softened despite my suspicions. Grandma Rose's cabinet was gorgeous, an antique worth thousands. I'd admired it my whole childhood. Okay, let me see. I walked toward the basement door, Mama and Keisha flanking me. The wooden steps creaked under my bare feet. Cold air rushed up from below. It's in the back corner, Mama directed. Behind those boxes. I descended carefully, my silk nightgown brushing against the rough walls. The single bulb barely lit the space. I could see stacked boxes, old furniture covered in sheets, but no china cabinet. Mama, I don't see. The door slammed above me. The lock clicked. Mama. I spun around, racing back up the stairs. Mama. I pounded on the door, splinters digging into my palms. Let me out. This isn't funny. I'm sorry, baby, Mama's muffled voice came through. But Keisha needs this more than you do. What are you talking about? I screamed, throwing my whole body against the door. It didn't budge. Solid oak, installed when the house was built in 1987. Open this door right now. Keisha's voice joined in, shaky and guilty. Lillian, Dylan and I, we've been seeing each other for 6 months. We're in love. Real love. Not like what you two have. The words hit me like physical blows. 6 months. Half a year of planning this wedding while my fiancé was sleeping with my sister. While my mother knew. You're lying, I choked out, but even as I said it, memories flooded back. Dylan's phone always face down, Keisha's sudden interest in his favorite restaurants, Mama insisting Keisha help with wedding errands that took hours. He was going to call it off, Mama said calmly. But he's too soft-hearted. Couldn't hurt you. So we decided to help. Help? You locked me in a fucking basement. The wedding's at 2 p.m. By the time someone finds you, Keisha will be Mrs. Thompson. Dylan agreed this morning. He loves her, Lillian. He was just too guilty to admit it. My legs gave out. I collapsed on the stairs, my wedding day turning into a nightmare. The wedding planner, the guests, they'll all know I'm missing. We'll tell them you got cold feet. Ran away. Everyone knows you've been stressed, having doubts. Mama's voice was so matter-of-fact, like she was discussing dinner plans. Keisha fits your dress perfectly. Same height, same size. No one will know until the veil comes off. I sat in the darkness, my mind racing through shock toward fury. They planned this. Coordinated it. My mother, my sister, my fiancé, the 3 people I trusted most. The cold concrete seeped through my nightgown, grounding me. I was not going to let this happen. My phone. Where was my phone? I patted my pockets. Nothing. Still charging by my bed upstairs. But I remembered something. When I was 15, I'd snuck out through the basement window. It was small, high up near the ceiling, but I'd managed it. If teenage me could do it, so could adult me. I stood up, adrenaline sharpening my focus. I pulled boxes over, stacking them beneath the window. My hands shook as I climbed, old cardboard threatening to collapse beneath me. The window was sealed shut with years of paint. I grabbed an old screwdriver from Dad's workbench and chipped away frantically. Minutes felt like hours. Upstairs, I heard movement, doors closing. They were leaving. Going to my wedding venue to steal my life. Not happening, I growled, scraping harder. The paint finally cracked. I pushed and sweet Atlanta morning air rushed in. The window was barely 2 feet wide. I was going to have to squeeze. I didn't care if I scraped every inch of skin off my body. I was getting to that church. I was stopping this wedding. And then I was scorching the earth around everyone who'd betrayed me. I thrust my arms through first, my shoulders screaming as I compressed them to fit the narrow frame. The window well was full of dead leaves and spiderwebs. I didn't care. My hips caught on the frame, stuck for a terrifying moment. I twisted, kicked off the boxes below me and pulled with everything I had. My nightgown ripped. Skin tore on rough concrete. Then I was through, tumbling into the morning grass of our backyard. 7:47 a.m. I had 6 hours and 13 minutes. I ran around to the front. Mama's car was gone. Both cars were gone. They'd left me with no phone, no transportation, in a nightgown. But I knew this neighborhood. Mrs. Morrow 3 houses down had known me since I was born. I sprinted across lawns, ignoring the rocks cutting my bare feet. Please be home, please be home. I pounded on her door. Mrs. Morrow. Mrs. Morrow, please. The door opened. Mrs. Morrow, 72 and barely 5 feet tall, took one look at my torn nightgown, my bleeding arms, my wild eyes, and pulled me inside without a word. Phone. I need your phone. I was already dialing Dylan. It rang 4 times. He answered. Lillian. His voice, God, his voice that I'd loved for 4 years, now made me sick. You fucking coward, I said, my voice deadly calm. You're really going to do this? Baby, listen, don't you dare call me that. I didn't mean for it to happen. Dylan's voice cracked through the phone, and I could hear guilt wrapped around every word. Keisha and we just connected. She understands me in ways I don't. I cut him off, my voice like ice. Mrs. Morrow handed me a blanket, her face horrified as she listened. We've been together for 4 years, Dylan. 4 years. We picked out china patterns. We argued about whether to honeymoon in Jamaica or Costa Rica. You met my father before he died and you promised him you'd take care of me. And you've been fucking my little sister? Silence. Then, I love her, Lillian. I'm sorry, but I do. Your mama thought it would be easier this way. Like ripping off a band-aid. You'd get over it eventually and Keisha would be happy. My mama thought? So all 3 of you planned this? Since July, he admitted. After the bachelor party, Keisha came to talk to me about the wedding toast and I tried to stop it, I swear. But then your mama said she saw how we looked at each other and she wanted Keisha to have the happiness she deserved. And I don't deserve happiness. My voice rose. What did I do to you, Dylan? What did I do to deserve this? Nothing. You're perfect. That's the problem. You're perfect and planned and everything's a schedule with you. Keisha's spontaneous. Fun. Alive. I hung up before I said something I couldn't take back. Not because I wanted to spare his feelings, but because I needed to save my energy for what came next. Mrs. Morrow, I need to borrow your car. He didn't hesitate. She grabbed her keys from the hook by the door, handed them to me, then disappeared into her bedroom. She came back with clothes, her granddaughters left behind from a summer visit. Jeans and a t-shirt that actually fit. You go stop that wedding, honey, Mrs. Morrow said, pressing the clothes into my hands. And you make them all sorry they ever crossed you. I changed faster than I ever had in my life. 8:23 a.m. I had 5 hours and 37 minutes to get to the Oaks, the venue Dylan and I had chosen because it's where his parents got married. My bridesmaids would be arriving around noon. My best friend Tasha was my maid of honor. She'd know something was wrong. I drove like a demon, my mind spinning through strategy. I couldn't just show up and scream that they'd betrayed me. No one would believe my own mother had locked me in a basement. I needed proof. Evidence. I needed to turn Dylan and Keisha's betrayal into something undeniable. My wedding photographer, Jerome, was supposed to arrive at noon for getting ready photos. I called him from Mrs. Morrow's old Nokia. Jerome, change of plans. I need you at the venue at 11 a.m. And I need you to hide. Jerome agreed without questions. I'd hired him because he was a professional and professionals delivered. Next call, Tasha. She answered on the first ring. Go, where are you? I've been texting all morning. Tasha, listen carefully. Don't react, just listen. I laid it out. Every betrayal, every detail. I heard her sharp intake of breath. That bitch, she hissed. Both those bitches. And Dylan? I never liked him. I told you his smile was too perfect. I need your help. Can you get to the venue early? Act normal like nothing's wrong. Oh, I can act. What's the plan? I need you to get Keisha alone before the ceremony. Get her talking. Make sure she's wearing her mic for the sound system. The Oaks had lavalier mics for the wedding party so the back rows could hear the vows. She's going to confess to stealing my fiancé over a live microphone? Not if she knows it's on. You're going to make sure it's on, hidden in her bouquet where she won't notice, and you're going to get her comfortable enough to brag. Tasha laughed, dark and dangerous. I'm texting the other bridesmaids right now. Maya, Jordan, and Bree. They're all in. We're going to destroy her, Lillian. Destroy all of them. By 10:30 a.m. I was parked outside the Oaks. White tents gleamed in the September sun. The arch where I was supposed to marry Dylan stood decorated with roses. My roses, my colors, blush and gold. I watched from Mrs. Morrow's car as vendors arrived. The caterer unloaded trays for 200 guests. $15,000 worth of food I'd selected. The DJ set up equipment. He'd promised to play Adorn for our first dance. Everything I'd planned for a year was happening, just without me as the bride. At 11:15 I saw Mama's car pull up. She got out first, looking radiant in that purple suit. Then Keisha emerged from the passenger side wearing my dress. My ivory silk dress with the cathedral train and pearl buttons. The dress I'd tried on 17 times before saying yes. It fit her perfectly because we were built the same, 5 feet 6 inches, 140 pounds, same measurements. From a distance with the veil we could be twins. I watched Mama fuss over Keisha, adjusting the veil, wiping tears from her eyes. Proud mother of the bride. My phone buzzed. Tasha. I'm in her dressing room. The mix live. Jerome's hidden in the balcony with a camera on the bridal suite. Whatever happens, we're recording it all. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Are you sure you want to do this publicly? It's going to be brutal. I thought about Dylan's words. You're perfect. That's the problem. I thought about Mama's voice. She doesn't deserve him. I thought about that locked basement door. I want everyone to see who they really are. I want witnesses. Then let's give them a show. At 1:30 p.m. I walked through the back entrance of the Oaks. Staff knew me. I'd been there a dozen times for planning. Lillian. Thank God. The wedding coordinator, Patricia, rushed over. Your mother said you ran away, but I knew. Where's Dylan? Groom's suite. But honey, Keisha's already in your dress. What's happening? Trust me, Patricia. Don't stop the ceremony. No matter what you see, let it play out. I walked toward the groom's suite, my bare feet silent on marble floors. I hadn't bothered with shoes. I pushed open the door without knocking. Dylan stood in his tuxedo, the Tom Ford tux we'd rented together, arguing about the price tag. His best man, Deshaun, was adjusting his tie. They both froze when they saw me. Lillian, Dylan breathed. How did you really thought a basement window would hold me? I stepped closer. You really thought I'd just let you marry my sister in my dress at my wedding? Deshaun looked between us. Wait, what? Dylan, man, what is she talking about? You didn't tell your best man? I laughed bitterly. None of the groomsmen know? Just you, Mama, and Keisha? It happened fast, Dylan stammered. This morning I was supposed to marry Lillian, but then Keisha and I realized we couldn't live without each other. This morning? Dylan, you just told me you've been sleeping with her since July. Deshaun's face went from confused to furious. You've been cheating? For months? Man, I stood up here for you. I gave a toast at your bachelor party about how you and Lillian were relationship goals. I need to talk to Keisha. Dylan pushed past me, but I grabbed his arm. Oh, you'll talk to her. In front of everyone. At 1:58 p.m. the music started. Canon in D, my processional choice. I slipped into the back of the chapel where 200 guests sat, watching Mama walk Keisha down the aisle. My sister looked beautiful. Radiant. Happy. She thought she'd won. The ceremony began. The officiant, Pastor Williams, who'd known our family for 20 years, spoke about love and commitment. He didn't know he was blessing a betrayal. Then came the vows. Dylan took Keisha's hands. Keisha, from the moment we connected, I knew you were special. You brought light into my life, spontaneity, joy. I stood up. Every head in the chapel turned. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Tasha, positioned near the sound system, turned up the microphone in Keisha's bouquet. Please continue, I called out. Tell everyone how special this love is. Mama's face went white. Keisha's went red. Dylan froze. Tell them about July, I said, walking down the aisle in my jeans and t-shirt. Tell them about the basement. Tell them everything or I will. The microphone in Keisha's bouquet picked up her whisper to Mama. She wasn't supposed to get out. The chapel erupted. Keisha's whispered confession had been broadcast to everyone. Aunts and uncles stood up, shouting questions. Dylan's mother started crying. Pastor Williams demanded an explanation. I reached the altar and turned to face the guests. Jerome's camera captured everything from the balcony. My mother locked me in our basement this morning so my sister could marry my fiancé, I said clearly. They've been having an affair since July. They planned this together. Steal my wedding, my dress, my life. Mama tried to speak, but Aunt Sharon, Daddy's sister, cut her off. Lorraine, you did what? The crowd turned on them like a wave. Dylan tried to leave, but his groomsmen blocked him. Keisha ripped off the veil, my dress suddenly a costume of shame. Mrs. Morrow appeared, she'd been invited months ago, and handed me a thumb drive. Security footage from my house, she whispered. Shows you escaping the window. Proof. I uploaded it to the venue's projector. Everyone watched me squeeze through that basement window, bleeding and desperate. They watched me run. When it ended, the silence was deafening. You're all witnesses, I said. My wedding, my venue, my guest. Consider this my testimony. Mama, Keisha, and Dylan left in shame, escorted by Dylan's furious father. 6 months later, I started a non-profit helping women escape family abuse. I never spoke to Mama or Keisha again. And Dylan? He ended up alone. Keisha left him 3 months later for someone else. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just surviving, thriving, and building a life so beautiful that betrayal becomes a distant memory. My name is Lillian Thompson. I kept the name, changed the man, and this is how I took my power back.